Donnie and Dolly. The team is supported by ableauctions.ca. Closing your business? We can help.
You get into one argument, what happens? Laney's OK Tire Langley inbox explodes. We can't keep up. Thanks so much for the interest in our show and our discussion today, folks. Today's guests, including John Shannon, standing by, brought to you by Optic Foliar. The only lights-on spray with no damage and no burning to your plant leaves, plant efficiency, nutrition, and results, all combined into a single solution for all stages of growth and safe to use on flowers. Spray it, see it, believe it. That's Optic Foliar. Visit this made-in-BC company online at opticfoliar.ca as we bring in NHL analyst, co-host of the Bob McCowan podcast, John Shannon. John, thanks for doing this. How are you, sir?
I'm doing great, boys. You?
Very well. Do you feel sorry for NHL players around this time of year when there's all this trade talk?
I feel sorry for their families.
Thank you, John.
I don't feel sorry for players. This is one of the reasons why they get paid as much as they do. This is a occupational hazard. You know, a lot of them been able to negotiate no moves, no trades, and that's part of the business as well. I really don't feel sorry for them, but I do feel sorry for their families.
Understood. That was the first voice of reason that we've had on the
show. I agree, John.
For in the last hour. Hey, Flames in Vancouver, John. Can you envision Calgary 10 straight wins? All Johnny Gaudreau, Sutter, that's just Markstrom, so impressive. Can you envision them winning a Stanley Cup?
They're as good as anybody right now, aren't they? I mean,
yeah.
I think they're better than Colorado. I think that when you look at the other three teams that are at the top of the list, Tampa, Florida, Carolina, I think the Flames, as much as we're much closer to Calgary, watching them a lot more, I think the Flames can go toe-to-toe with them. As long as you have a solid goaltender, and Jacob Markstrom, I don't need to tell Vancouver fans about how good he can be, and he's been remarkable. They've done a solid job. And if you look at other things with Calgary, what they've done, you know, everybody was lamenting the loss of Mark Giordano in the expansion draft. Brad Treliving knew that Oliver Shillington was on his way. And Oliver Shillington has done a marvelous job, much better skater than Giordano. And he has become a force on the back line for the Flames as well. And then what does Darryl do more than anybody else? He demands accountability. He demands it. And the players have respected that, and that's why they're playing so well. And is there a better forward in the NHL right now than Lindholm? I don't think so.
Yeah. Well, you might argue Johnny Gaudreau. Plus 41 and all of that. So
maybe
his other line mate's not bad either, Chuck.
When Darryl says that Johnny Gaudreau is one of the best two-way forwards in the National Hockey League, you're going, oh my goodness gracious, has the world turned?
Yeah, big
but
time.
Plus 41, at least last time I checked. Hey, a lot of talk in Vancouver this week about JT Miller going to Toronto. What do you think the Leafs need most of? As we do the trade speculation, I know what you're laughing at.
Well, first of all, you know, our pal Friedman started this, and I don't even think he had talked to anybody. He threw out the Leafs could use JT Miller, not trade. So, I mean, I think there's a ton of teams that could use JT Miller. And I think that before it's over, teams, if they're not already calling, will call on JT Miller. That doesn't necessarily mean they're going to move. Right now, what the Maple Leafs need more than anything else is they need a defenseman. They have issues on the blue line now, and it's going to be their downfall if they don't get some more improvement from those guys. Morgan Riley's been great, but he can't do it himself now that Jake Muzzin's out long term. And there have been some disappointments back there. A guy like Travis Dermott, they expected to be very good, has not played well. The coach doesn't even like to play him if he doesn't have to. So that's where the Leafs need the help is on the blue line.
John, it's the black retro jersey tonight. Going over the years.
Downhill skate? Downhill skate?
Yes.
Yeah.
Okay.
So what are your thoughts on Canuck uniforms over the years?
I have a bias to the original ones, which is close to what has been used. I mean, the blue and green with the the C rink and stick. I mean, that the original one that the company invented in 1970 for the expansion. I also still, I'm old enough that I did love the original Western Pro League Canucks with just the script and the number in the front. I thought they were fantastic. The last 2 years that Joe Crozier was there when they won the WHL championship, those were in my terms my favorite uniforms, and they used Johnny Canuck as their secondary logo. And I still love Johnny Canuck, so I'm biased. What they've done in Abbotsford is brilliant.
Yes, it is. I love the green one with Johnny Canuck and Abbotsford. The Edmonton Oilers, the goaltending, what a mess. John, I mean, how do you fix that? They could have had Markstrom in the offseason that summer, but they didn't. He went down the highway. What a mess the Oilers are. They're such a good team goalie out, but then look at their last 2 games in net.
Well, here's what I can listen. Mike Smith has been in the last 2 games. He's cost them games. Yep. Let's face it, he's cost them. He cost them the game last night in Tampa. Absolutely. They played very well. They played very well in Tampa last night.
Yep.
Connor McDavid was great. Draisaitl got he got amped up in the second half of the game. They had enough to win, except Mike Smith had put them in a bad spot. And by the way, just the Markstrom thing is an interesting thing. Ken Holland made a really, really hard push for Markstrom. Yep. And for Darcy Kemper this offseason, and was close to getting Kemper, except Grubauer signed with Seattle as a free agent. Nobody thought that was going to happen, and that domino effect changed everything that the Oilers tried to do. So he's been in the market and been close to signing both Markstrom and Darcy Kemper in the last 2 off seasons. And wouldn't that have changed things for the Oilers? I think Kenny has to go do something, but you tell me what. You give me a name that's going to go Edmonton short term. With limited cap space, it is going to be difficult. Do they need a goalie? Yes. Tell me who. Mm-hmm. That's the issue.
Yep. Grant Fuhr. Hey, that Tampa game, Corey Perry gets goal number 400. His list of accomplishments is just so impressive, both individually and from a team point of view. No-brainer Hall of Famer, John?
Somebody asked me that last night, and I had to look, and then I stopped looking at numbers and realized, what am I talking about? Of course, he's a Hall of Famer. Yeah. When you think he's also, Stanley Cup champion and Olympic gold medalist. Mm-hmm. And I think that those 2 things put him over the top for me, in addition to the 400 goals and the way he played the game. Some people didn't like the way he played the game, but he contributed to his team's winning time and time again. So I have him in the Hall of Fame. And I don't, and when you look and say, well, only 400 goals, because now it seems like 500 is the magic number. Being a quality team player has to be measured for something. And I think Corey Perry was a great teammate.
And plus extra marks for having to put up with trade speculation every once in a while. So he definitely gets in. Thanks, John.
Well, and his family, right?
Yeah,
and
that's right. Yes. Okay.
There you go. Okay.
Thanks, John. I appreciate it.